There are 5 fundamental ways to screw up your wholesaling success and to have you fail as soon as possible in wholesaling state. And what I want to do is share with you these 5 huge mistakes most wholesalers make and how to avoid them so you can actually go out here and have wholesaling real estate success. The great Dwight Schrute once said, think of what an idiot would do and do the opposite of them. And what I want to do is kind of use that type of thinking in your wholesaling business and think what the top 5 ways wholesalers fail really quickly in wholesaling and how to flip that on its head and actually start doing things that will give you wholesaling success so you can go out here and start doing wholesaling real estate deals the right way. These are things, honestly, I wish I knew starting out as a beginner, that if someone can shake me right now and say, Zach, do not do this and do this instead, this would be a huge change for my wholesaling success and a change I think you should start doing. So what I'm about to share with you is a conversation I had on my personal Zackin YouTube channel where I made a live presentation on the top 5 ways wholesalers fail fastest, how to avoid them. I actually had my media team edit it down really good so you get the best info possible so you can learn how to have wholesaling real success. Before I break it down, you already know what to do. Make sure you go out here and smash that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. Without further ado, let's get these 5 ways to fail as a real estate wholesaler. So first and foremost, number 1, probably one of the biggest ones, is watching like 50 different YouTubers on about wholesaling real estate, like watching 50 different YouTubers on wholesaling and trying to like this is the best way I could just mangle it, right? Like you take something, you rip it, you put it here and you do it like this and you make it like a Frankenstein. Okay. A lot of people do this. Okay. Like for example, everyone's like, all right, I want to make the greatest basketball player of all time. I'm going to have the legs of Larry Bird. I'm going to have the smartness of Michael Jordan. I'm going to have the body of LeBron James. And I'm going to have the strength of Shaquille O'Neal. And you throw them all together, it looks like a Frankenstein. It looks weird, right? A lot of you guys are doing this in your wholesaling real estate system, okay? It makes no sense to me, but you guys are doing this. You're learning from 50 different wholesalers, and so you listen to this wholesaler about how to cold call, you listen to this wholesaler about how to pull lists, you listen to this wholesaler about cash buyers, and you're doing 7 systems and you're just making your own little Frankenstein system here, and you wonder why it doesn't work, okay? This makes no sense at all. Everyone feels like wholesaling real estate is like building a PC computer. It's not, okay? It's like building a car. If I put a Ford F-150 car in a Honda Civic transmission, and then I try to go out here and use like a Tesla tires, and then I try to go mix this all up. I put the lights of a regular F1 car, and like I try making it into a car. The car's going to run really weird because all the parts are different and they don't want to interact together. It's a complete mess. Guys, this is one of the biggest problems I see. Because every single YouTuber, and I'm telling you this straight up, okay? I will go on record here and say there's probably about 5 YouTubers that I know that they all pretty much don't like me, and I'm okay with that. That I know for a fact they are legit wholesalers. I've seen their HUDs, I've seen the real deals, and people send me proof that they're legit, and I think they're actually legit people. I'm not mentioning names, not anything like that, but I'll tell you they are legit wholesalers, and I truly believe they are great wholesalers. Now, what they do, not the biggest fan of, but they are not terrible wholesalers. They run legit operations and real businesses. And I've JV'd with some of these people before. Now, that being said, if you listen to how that person does their list polling and then you try to match it with their marketing and then you put my cash buy, it just doesn't mix. They're just different systems, okay? And when you're listening to somebody's wholesaling system and you want to mix and match different systems, it doesn't work, okay? You're going to have to do one style, all right? It's like, okay, I have a diesel car, but I'm going to use Zach's gas engine, and like it ain't going to work. Okay. So if you use my list polling and then use someone else's cold calling script, it's not going to mix well. The reason why my system works so well is because it's continuity. It's all together. Like my cold calling works so smooth because you're using the list that I talk about. My cash buyer system works so well is because the type of deals I get, right? I just want you guys to understand that I don't care if you watch other YouTubers, like I encourage it sometimes, right? But when you start mixing and matching people's systems, it becomes a complete mess. And this is an issue I think most wholesalers have a problem with. Find a couple people and stick to those and like try to find what works, but don't try to mix and match systems. This is the biggest issue. There's a lot of wholesalers out here that are buying like 5 or 6 guru programs and then they're throwing my list inside of it and they're like, this is not working. But then I start doing Zach's scripts and his lists and it's working better than the guru program. I'm like, yeah, because you're kind of not using the guru program, you're using mine, right? And then there's some people that mix and match and then they only do the guru program and it actually works out well with them, right? Guys, you have to use one clear, concise system. That's why I tell everyone to freewholesaling.com. And another problem with this too is because people start going all over the board, right? They start doing different channels and marketing. They do 30 different markets and it's ridiculous, okay? So if you just got to understand, listen to a couple people that know what they're doing. all right, and just go after it and start doing a precise system that someone else has done very well. Prefer you go to freewholesaling.com, do whatever one you want, but do not use half of my system and then throw it in the other half of somebody else's. You're gonna make my system look terrible, you're gonna make the other person's system look terrible. Stick to one system. I'm just telling you, that system doesn't work, try someone else's system. That is one of the biggest secrets to wholesaling success. Number two, this is very important. A lot of wholesalers think they know everything. All right. And, I've been victim of this before. Not anymore. Right? I'm smart enough to know that I don't know everything. All right. That's the one thing I'm proud to admit. I know that I don't know everything. Okay. And a lot of wholesalers will go out here and they'll pretend they are the expert of everything. They'll pretend that they are the cold calling champion or the king closer. And they will refuse to learn anything else in wholesaling. They'll refuse to start training or practicing any of their skills, and they'll just feel like they know everything about everything, okay? And when you have this blissful ignorance, you start losing out on a lot of wholesaling deals, okay? When you get so hard-headed and you think that you know every little tiny thing about wholesaling and like, I know the perfect list, I know the perfect script, and your ego is honestly so clouded in your judgment that you are only going to do these little things and they don't work, and you keep doing it because you think you know what's right, what's wrong. And when somebody in your market or you listen to someone and they give you wholesaling advice and you clearly just don't want to listen to it, that could be a really bad thing. A lot of wholesalers sometimes think they know everything and it ends up being their detriment. If you pretend that you know everything you don't, you're not going to end up doing well. On the contrary, on the other end here, there's a lot of wholesalers that go on appointments and they talk to their son. They pretend that they're the expert of home buying and they're the expert of everything. I'm an expert home carpenter. I'm the jack of all trades. I know how to do carburetors and all. And you start acting like you know everything, you're going to get caught a couple times. And there's going to be problems in like roofing. Oh, I'm a roofing expert. And you don't know what you're talking about and you're going to lose the deal. Don't pretend like you know everything because you don't. That's a huge issue I see in wholesaling that most wholesalers, not most, but I'd say a surprisingly high amount of them do it. Okay, so just be careful with it. I see this issue more times than not, unfortunately. And number three here, this is a big one, okay? And I can go on and on. I can probably go for hours on this little system here, but like so many wholesalers, and I hate to say this, and this really breaks my heart, but they try to do 30 different marketing lists. They try to do 30 different marketing channels at a time, and they literally will try to throw everything out all at once, okay? They'll cold call a probate list. They'll cold call a code violation list. They'll do the high equities, and they'll start texting that. They will try everything all at once. And either they get overwhelmed with the leads they do, they get overwhelmed with the follow-up, and they end up just getting so burnt out, and they do like 50 calls on every type of list and be like, it doesn't work, right? And honestly, there's just not enough volume on one type of thing that works out. A lot of people, they try to master everything at once and it doesn't work, right? Bruce Lee, I think, said this. He's like, I don't fear the man that did 10,000 different kicks once, but the man that did 10,000 of one kick once. Or I'm definitely destroying his quote there, but be fearful of the person that's pulled 10,000 probates and just calls and that's all they know, because they'll destroy you in the probate realm, right? And I think that's one thing you guys should understand, guys. Focus on one marketing channel, open up the second one, then the third one, and then just slowly do it once the one marketing channel is doing well. Same thing with marketing lists. Do 2 or 3. And then when you master that and you start doing very well in that, then go to 3 and 4 and 5. I see a lot of wholesalers try to do it all at once. And honestly, that is the number one ticket to your failure in wholesaling, is trying to do all these different marketing channels and lists at the same. Just focus on 3 or 4 and just stick to that and you'll be fine. Trust me. Okay. Number 4 here. This is a big one. This is massive. All right. And I see this issue all the stinking time, but this is charging forward with no clear path or plan. So many wholesalers will go to freewholesaling.com, they'll watch a couple videos and they'll say, I'm just going to take massive action, go crazy, and just start doing one thing. And I didn't even learn really halfway. I'm just going to go and do it. And you end up getting a deal, but you lose the deal because you didn't know what you're doing, right? And, a lot of people have the opposite problem, right? The analysis paralysis problem, where they're so freaked out on what to do and they don't do anything, or they study and watch too many videos and they don't take action. Some people go to the overboard. They'll start trying to call the code violations without actually knowing or having a title company. Or they'll still go out here and try to go an appointment, but they don't know how to condition a seller, right? There is a point where you need to have more education before you start going appointments. And it's not this thing where you have to spend 50 hours doing it, right? Like if you spend a weekend at freewholesaling.com, you can roughly know what to do, like pretty quick, or you go through 30 wholesaling challenge. But like, honestly, so many wholesalers have this problem. They just charge forward with no clear path, no clear plan of what to do. And I see this problem more than not. Like more times than not, I see this massive issue, and I want to get a stop to this, okay? You need to create a plan before you start going out here, because when you create a plan, it creates and breeds consistency with that plan. When you are not consistent, when you don't consistently market, you are not going to consistently get deals. Consistent marketing equals consistent deals. Inconsistent marketing equals inconsistent deal flow. So if you want to be consistent, you have to make a plan. And when you just charge forward without a plan, you're not going to do well, right? Think of every single battle in the United States of America or around the world, let's say the past 300 years. Did anyone just charge forward, no plan at all, just rough with all emotions and just going after it? It doesn't end up well, okay? You watch any MMA boxing match and they put the gloves on, they just start swinging and they don't care about anything. They're not defensive. They just want to go after. It doesn't work in a professional fight. And you are professionally wholesaling real estate here, okay, guys and gals? Like, we're being professionals here. And if we charge for it without a plan, we don't know what our objections when cold calling. We don't know how to deal with the seller when they ask me, what's my offer? What's my offer? What's my offer? And you just don't know what to do when somebody gives you a right hook. Someone's going to figure out you don't know how to defend a right hook. You're done, okay? Somebody knows you don't know how to defend a takedown in MMA, you're done, right? Somebody knows you're only playing man coverage in football, you're done, okay? Like, this is so important in wholesaling real estate, and it's never talked about enough, but you have to go through the course of freewholesaling.com. It's a free stinking wholesaling course, and just know what to do in every situation. And once you know what to do and actually how to counter some of these attacks, you can go after here and actually attack with a plan. And once you make a plan, that increases your success. The reason why I'm so just telling you guys to make plans is because when you make a plan in wholesaling real estate, especially right now, right? Like when we have challenges and things like that, the chance of you getting a first deal within a month goes up probably 20, 30, 40% when you make a plan. It doesn't guarantee you get that first deal, but it increases the odds by 30 to 40% more increase because you're more prepared, and just being frank with you, you're just more consistent. People that make plans are more consistent, and this is a big failure of most wholesalers starting out. And I hate to say it, but you got to go after here and just make the plan, go after, understand what you're doing, and you can do it for wholesaling real estate success. I'm telling you, you do not want to stop going out here and wholesaling real estate and just go after it without a plan. You have to make a plan and you'll be successful, okay? Number 5 here. I hate to tell you this, and I'm trying to say this in the nicest way possible, but most of you guys out here have to let your ego go. And I'm not saying anyone's egotistical here, right? I'm not saying that, but a lot of wholesalers have this big ego, and sometimes it's not in like you're a terrible person. There's a lot of sweet people that their ego gets in the way in wholesaling. It's where they feel like they just have to grind it out, and they don't want to get any help from anyone else. They want to have their blinders on, and they don't want to pivot when something's not working. The biggest quote about I say this is, guys, you have to first take action and then analyze and then redo the plan and then go after it, right? For example, it's like fishing. Okay, I know I'm the analogy guy today, but this is the honest dang truth I can tell you about wholesaling, okay? It's the same thing as fishing. If I'm fishing at a lake and I've spent 4 hours and I haven't caught one fish, I should probably go to a different lake and see what's up. All right. Like don't try to just keep kicking a dead horse. All right. If something is not working, specifically in wholesaling marketing lists, some marketing lists in place don't work. Okay. Sometimes bandit signs just don't work, and you just can't be going after it and just grinding it out and you're going to do well, right? Sometimes it ain't going to work. Okay. Sometimes you might have to pivot a little bit and go after. Some people's egos are too big. They don't want to do it. Or sometimes their ego's so big, they feel like in their heart that, yeah, Zach's cold calling list is okay, but I think I know a better list, right? I feel like the pre-foreclosures are more motivated, and Zach just doesn't know what he's talking. A lot of people do this. You know, I know Zach told me to do this cold calling, this script for cold calling, to how to talk to the sellers, but you know, I feel like this would be a lot better, right? And just when you feel like your script is going to be better than my script, it's kind of an ego play. But the one thing is, okay, if you have done wholesaling deals and it works for you, I give everyone permission to use their script over mine. But if you haven't done any wholesaling deals and you believe, because you worked 15 years in a jewelry sales place, that you're going to be better wholesaling than me on it, it ain't going to work, okay? Yeah, solar sales ain't wholesaling sales, okay? Some of them can translate, but it's not the same exact thing, okay? And so you have to understand here that do not act like you know everything. This is a little bit of, number 2 I've talked about before, but don't let the ego get in front of you in wholesaling real estate, okay? You have to go out here and attack and make action and go after. That is always super duper important, what I always say. But you also have to know when to give up in a certain marketing channel or list and then do something else. The problem is people go a little too far on it, right? And that is always the issue I'm going to tell you. So guys, get your ego out of it. All right, just get your ego out of this business. Just understand it. take advice from people. And when you're doing your marketing out here or your cash buyers, don't pretend like you know everything. If it ain't working, don't work at it, right? And so this is kind of what I would tell everyone to do. And this has always been my script action plan. A lot of people think my action plan is just go, go, go. Wait, make a plan. Go, 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 and never stop. It's never that, okay? I want to reemphasize with everybody watching this one more time. It's plan, attack, analyze, pivot, and then attack again. Okay, so we do more attacking than anything else. We got to plan out what we're going to do in wholesaling or marketing, things like that. We got to analyze what's going on. And so, people might reverse drive for dollars and say, it's not working. And before I tell everyone just to give up and, oh my gosh, it's so bad. No, okay. First and foremost, we got to plan really quick. Okay. What we're going to do, we're going to attack. And if it's not working, we got to analyze it, right? So like if I'm getting a 2% response rate on my reverse driving for dollars, I'm probably not going to do that anymore. If I did 300 or 400, I'm only getting a 2% response rate. It should be 20 or 30%. Probably not what I want to do. It's probably not the best. So I probably should do something else, okay? I'm going to analyze it. I'm probably going to pivot and then attack from there. A lot of wholesalers might attack without analyzing or pivoting what's not working. Then they get frustrated. A lot of you guys don't even do one-on-one calls with me, which are free here on the YouTube channel. And you wonder what's going wrong. It's like you got a 7-figure wholesaler who's literally going to tell you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it for free on this YouTube channel. It's crazy, but nobody ever takes me. Most people take me up on it that want to, but a lot of wholesalers don't. And I will literally hold your hand to wholesaling success. And so the truth is, if you want to be a failure in wholesaling real estate, go do it. But we're kind of do the opposite of this, right? And so what's the opposite of this, right? Number one, listen one wholesaling real estate system, preferably at freewholesaling.com, a free wholesaling course. Number two, be smart enough to know that you don't know everything. And if somebody gives you a question you don't know, say, that's a great question. My title company might know this. My partner might know this. Let me ask them. Number three here, focus on like 2, maybe 3 marketing lists if you're niching it out, and then maybe 1 or 2 marketing channels at most, and stick to that, and then just keep going after it for a good time and see what's working, and then analyze, pivot. 4, make a plan first. Number 5, don't let your ego get in the way. Plan, analyze, attack, analyze again, pivot, and go after it. I'm not telling you in this video to be this analysis paralysis guy, because I'm the guy that'll tell you it's better to take action than no action. But if you're taking action with no plans of attack or not going through the course, you're going to be set up for failure. Okay. Like it's never good. All right. It's like trying to fight a shark barehanded. It's like in the water. It's just, maybe we should learn how to fight sharks online or something before we do that. Right. Just okay. And so the truth here, what I'm trying to tell you is most wholesalers will fail from not taking action, but that's the obvious one. What I wanted to tell you today is the 5 fastest ways that most wholesalers fail, because not doing any action is a pretty slow way to fail, right? That's years of no taking action. These are the ways that people fail really, really fast in this business. And the number one thing to do to avoid all this stuff, go to my free wholesaling course, freewholesaling.com, and I'll lead you to wholesaling real estate success.